Welcome to this webinar. I'm so happy to have you here. You are welcome to the Low and High, and I tell you, you are going to get a lot of insight discussion, inside education, inside information pertaining to your business in this webinar. First of all, let me introduce the Low and High to you. The Low and High has been set up basically for business owners, individual persons, families, and everyone to be abreast of rules and regulations, policies, laws, and everything that will affect you, everything that should move your business forward, everything that will affect you as an individual person, everything that will make you to move from one position to another, and also policies that will take you to a better future. So in this discussion, I, Folakemi Jegeda, will be your host. And let me introduce myself. I am a legal practitioner of more than 10 years. I've been in active practice. I'm a chartered secretary and also business administrator. Over the years, I've worked with different companies to help them to advise them in different professional capacities as their human resources manager, as their solicitor, as an external legal advisor, and also as their business administrator. And I believe before the end of this webinar, I'm bringing all this expertise to you to help you in 2021 to position your businesses in another level, and I know at the end of this webinar, you will go with something. So thank you very much for joining us. This 2020, a lot of things has happened. The pandemic started, the hand stars have started, and a lot of business owners, one way or the other, have been affected. And now there is more of online businesses and all. But it is very important, whereby for us to enjoy more profitability and sustainability in our business, there is a need for us to have a business structure. So a wise man will say, knowledge is power. You will not do wrong when you have knowledge. So today, anything you learn, anything you hear from this will form parts of what you know, and it will also take your business to another level. So as our discussion today is business structure. I believe if you are joining us, you are an entrepreneur, or you have an idea, or you are already running a business. Is either you are a small scale business owner, or you're a medium scale business owner, or also you're already in a larger scale. So as a business owner, one of the first things that you have to have when it comes to business structure, the first thing is your idea. When you have your idea in place, then you put it down. The word of God says that write your vision and make it plain. So the first thing for you to do is to have an idea. I liken a business structure to when you plan to have a baby, and after you have a baby, you name your baby. So the first thing for you to have is your idea, which is your business plan. The first thing I want you to go with today, this afternoon, is to have, firstly, your business plan. Your business plan, and if you don't have a business plan, it's not something voluminous. It's not something that is a jack fit all thing, But you can as well draft your business plan for yourself, but you must make sure that you are going to answer these questions that I'm going to put to you. So the first question that you have to ask yourself is that, what is my business all about? So your business plan should clearly indicate what your business is all about. And secondly, what is the service that you intend to provide? You can also indicate it that your business plan intends to provide this particular service. And thirdly, what do you intend, what do you need to run this business? as to the funding, as to the market, who are your target audience, So these are the things that you need to put in place in your business plan. Afterwards, then you look at how you intend to achieve this business. And when you've been able to put these things together, then the next thing, to have, as I indicated earlier, that after your plan to have a baby, after the baby is to name the baby. So the next thing is to have your business registered. How can you differentiate yourself from a normal pepper seller or a cola nut seller in the market? How do you intend to differentiate yourself? You know, as a business owner, the first thing is for your business to be registered. Your business must have a name. And there are different types of business. In Nigeria, the common ones also, they are in like 3 or 4 parts. I'm going to explain 3 different types of business to you today. And before we go into that, what should determine the type of business registration that you want to do is number one, what is the nature of the industry that you want your business to be? Do you want to be in the aviation? Do you want to be in the charitable? Do you want to own a church? Or you want to do buying and selling, your fashion or IT? Do you want to start a small scale or a middle scale or a larger scale? There are things that you need to put into consideration before you register your business. Why is this? Because number one, we have what we call sole proprietorship and partnership. A sole proprietorship and partnership, they are like it's like a small business registration whereby it's about you or your own one-man business or two people coming together to form a business. This particular registration is called business name. So in this particular registration, you don't really need much. Every of these type of registration has their cons and pros. So depending on what you want to do, you can go for the business name registration. And another one is limited liability company. This one, you have the shareholders, you have the directors. The shareholders are the owners of the company, while the directors, you can also be the owner of the company, but the directors are the one that manages the affairs and the runnings of the company. So as I was saying, as a business owner, there's nothing that stops you from starting small at all. But something will stop you is for you to think small. So the essence of this business structure is for you to know that where you are going is far, but you can start small. Your plans, your ideas can be in phases and milestones. So you can as well start from the sole proprietorship or from the partnership. Then the other one that as earlier mentioned is limited liability company. It can be private limited liability company or public limited liability company. Now we also have limited partnership, So depending on the one that you want to do, for limited liability company, your company became an entity, a legal entity on its own. It can be sued, it can own properties in its own name. The owner is clearly different from the company. And in this particular type of business registration, they have access to loans, the investors, financial investors, and opportunities are more open for people that are into these shares, limited liability company that have shareholding structure and all. Then another type of business registration is the charitable organization, the non-governmental organization, which is the businesses that is meant to serve the public. So if what you intend to do is to give back to the society, is to have like something like an NGO, like a church, like a school, like a human rights foundation, things like that. What you need to do is to register for this particular trustee organizations, which is aimed to give back to the society. So one of the, if I can recap what I've said earlier, the first thing for you to do is to have a business plan. After having your business plan, the second thing is to register your name, register the business that you want to do. And this registration is determined by your industry that you want to operate in, and also your vision, your dream, how big you want your company to be. And another thing that we also, thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. And please, as you're coming in, please leave an emoji, your name, so that I will know that I'm communicating to you. And if you have questions, please just put your questions down, and I believe I'll be able to answer your questions before the end of this webinar. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for joining. And as we are also saying, these types of business registrations have their pros and cons. And the most important thing is for you to have a focus as to what exactly you want to do. And another thing that we also talk about when it comes to business structure, assuming you have your business running already, you've registered your name, you've registered your business, and you've been doing it for a while. And what are the things that you need to put in place? Please, a lot of us go into business registration, we don't even know what it entails. For example, for the founders of the business, there are some documentations that need to be in place when setting up your company. One of the documentation is the founders agreement. The founders agreement, the founders agreement is is an important agreement that helps the founders to know their rights, their obligations before money started coming in, you understand? So that at the end of the day, there is nobody that feels that they've been neglected, there won't be any form of greed, there won't be any form of of um, um, discrepancies from any form of body, for anybody. So a founders agreement is a contract that founders entered into that govern their business relationship. The agreement lays out the rights, the responsibilities, the liabilities, and obligation of each founder. Generally speaking, it regulates the affairs and the company's operational system at the beginning. This is quite different from the company's operational system, because while forming your company, you should also have like a template of how you want the company to run. Another documentation that is also very important. Please, thank you for coming in. Please don't share with your friends, and you can also drop an emoji, your name, so that we know that you're part of this discussion. Thank you so much for joining. Another important document is shareholders agreement. As I earlier indicated, that shareholders are owners of the company. They are quite different from directors. Of course, the directors too can also be shareholders. Shareholders agreement ensure that the running of the company and the responsibilities of the shareholders are properly thought through. There is clarity and certainty as to what can or cannot be done, and decisions that should be reached by consensus of all the shareholders. Now, as we are going, a lot of people will be like, okay, my company is small. I'm the owner of the company. I'm the director. I'm the shareholder. I'm all in all the decision maker, But the truth of it is that most of us, we get it wrong, because when we want to incorporate our company, we intend to put all our family members in the registration. Do you know the essence of having a director to run a company? Is because there is a need for quality decisions to be taken by the board. And if your board members are people that cannot give you quality and experienced advice, then your business may not be able to get quality decisions, may not be able to move forward. And see, when we see larger companies making waves, you understand that they appreciate their board like anything. They put experienced people on their board. Well, you may not have grown to that, but there's a need for you to know that the essence of running a company is not for you to run it alone, all by yourself. You need other people that are expertise or that have a knowledgeable idea to bring something to the table. So one of the things I wanted to take away with you is that the quality of a business is based on the quality of the board. So why appointing your directors, you should also put that into consideration. That is not is Don't mix it. Your director does not necessarily have to have a share holding capacity in your company. So you can have another arrangement. That is why you have also directors agreements, so that we call it directors engagement, so that they will understand what their responsibilities and liabilities have. Another document that I also want to talk about is contractual agreements. But before I go there, after your registration, after all these agreements, the shareholders agreement and the founders agreement, what next? Is your staffing. Who are the people that you bring into your company? That is why it is important for you to have your vision and your mission in place. You must understand what you're doing. You must understand your call yourself. So it's not like you are just sometimes you register some business and they say general merchandise, everything goes, you do everything. But the truth of it is that you cannot do everything. If you want to move on, if you want to run a profitable business, and if you want your business to be structured, you need to know the exact thing that you're doing. And you have to have a mission, you have to have a vision, and make it plain. And it's when you make it plain and you understand it very well, that is why you can bring other people to the table, especially your staff, and let them understand that this is what this business is all about. This is what we stand for. And when you are bringing this staff in, please and please, there is a need for proper orientation. You cannot do it all by yourself. And that is why you need to have a human resources personnel. You can be an in-house, you can be an external person, and that is one of the things that we do. So you need to give a proper orientation to your staff so that they will understand what your business stands for, and also the policies and the codes that govern your business. A Yoruba adage will say that ìlú tí ò sí òfin ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ò sí. Where there is no law, there won't be anything. So everybody will just be acting anyhow. So one of the ways in which that you can put your business properly and structured is to have proper staffing and proper orientation for your staff before employment. That means quality recruitment must have been done, and people have the capacity to do the job must have been engaged. And it's not about relationship. So running a business is not about family thing. Well, if your family is qualified for the role, of course, then you can do it. And it's not every time that you employ full employment. You can also delegate other responsibility. You can also act on contractual things. So that's one of the things. So your vision, your mission must be clear. You must even understand it for yourself. This When we talk about this business structure, we are not talking about that you are comfortable to just make ends meet, to just make money. We are talking about somebody, an entrepreneur that wants his or her business to move from this level to another, to let the business to live long, perpetual succession. Today we see them Dangote, we see big companies, and that they started very small, but at the same time their vision was even bigger than them. That is why they had to start in a well-structured way. So your vision and mission should be big. You may be starting from, but it should be big. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Please drop an emoji. Then you can also share with your friends, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And another thing that I also want to talk about, in this particular discussion in when it comes to your business structure, especially the people that are already running their business, is that it's not what you can do alone. So you may not employ people to do some, but you need to leverage on expertise, on knowledge of other people. And when it comes to business structure, you need policies, visions, missions, code of conduct, and even your whistleblower policy should be, everything should be in the company operational system, should be in place, so that at the end of the day, you are prepared for the bigger picture. You understand? You have to prepare for the bigger picture. Whistleblower policy is very important. It's very important, and it helps you to also protect your staff. It helps you to for your staff to also feel protected, that right things, right policies are in place. So if you are going to move from running a business on your own, I believe a lot of people, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need it. Please, if you just want your business to be all around you, just your mouth, then you don't need what I'm talking about. But if the essence of this discussion is for you to understand that we want your business to move from here to a business that will be like a perpetual successful business that can go from one generation to another. That is why there is a need for structure. There is a need for structure. Even if you are building a house, they said if the foundation is not solid, then the house will fall. That is why that from the beginning, your dream is big. Yes, you are starting from, but your structure is in place. Yeah, your structure is in place. And then another thing that I also want to talk about is that after all these documentations, what's next? The next thing is to make sure that you registered your company. You run your business as a company. One, your bank, you should register in a bank. You should have a corporate account. So let me put it that way. It is very important. And when you have a corporate account, it helps you to be able to streamline your expenses, your business expenses and your personal expenses. I know, I understand that a lot of times as a small business owners, you tend to mix things up, but it's better to start than not to start at all. So when you start and you are able at the end of the year, or anyhow you do your financial breakdown, maybe monthly, quarterly, or half yearly, you are able to understand, okay, this is the amount of the inflow and outflow, this is your gain, this is your operational cost, and all. But if you don't do that, how can you test that your business is actually growing? How? You won't be able to. And also make sure that when you are paying for expenses that has to do with your business, is done from your corporate account, so that you can easily identify your outgoings. You understand? So uh, I believe you are getting something. Thank you. I'm seeing your emojis. Thank you. Thank you. Please keep it coming, and kindly share this with your other friends, and if you have questions, please drop it. And I believe I'll be able to answer your questions before the end of this webinar. Then another thing that I also want to talk about is trademark. you know, I may not be able to go into depth of all this discussion because but it is important for you that all these things will help you. And if you need further information and further engagement, you can as well inbox us and send us a mail in lawandhigh@gmail.com. And please don't forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. There are lots of videos that will also help your business on YouTube at the Law and High. So the next discussion that we want to talk about now is your trademark. Now, you know, see, we have we have trademark, copyright, patents, all these will help your business, especially people that are into designs. For example, for copyright, you write film production, you are in media entertainment. There is a need for you to copyright your writings, your scenes, your films, things like that. And people that are into IT, you develop an app, that kind of, you need to register your invention. See, if we are looking at just getting things done and bringing something to our table, our business will not grow. Our business will not grow. So this discussion that we are having now, I be like, okay, I don't need it. Let me just sell this thing and get it on. You design a clothes, you just sell it. You don't care if people are imitating your God-given idea. All those resources that God has given you to 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 enjoy, to make more money, to make more grant for yourself. You just make small money and you're already jumping around. Whereas God has given you to drain out of this idea, out of this invention that you've done. And that is why that you should know that there is a law that also protects your ideas, your invention, So, and these things don't cost much compared to what you will get in return. But if you don't know, you just throw it to the drain. So it is very important for you to understand that there is what we call intellectual property, and it helps and protects your legal right that is associated with creative efforts. And you will get your goodwill and reputation skills out of these things. So if you have an invention, if you have an idea, if you are into writing and all, you can actually protect your right under intellectual property. You know, our this session is going to still last for the next 40 minutes, but I need you to bring your questions in so that we can answer them before the end of this webinar. The copyright is essential for writers and authors so that they can enjoy the ownership of their creation. I remember, when I was in I think university, I think 200 level, I actually wrote a book then on sanctity of marriage. Can you imagine? But however small that was, assuming I have this kind of knowledge that I have, I will know that anything you write, anything you author, you can actually protect your rights under intellectual property. And it is a fundamental principle that your creation, should anybody that wants to use it, should pay for your reputation and goodwill. And for trademark, you have your unique design, especially for your fashion designers. You have your unique design, your symbol, your logo that you want exclusively to yourself or to your brand. There is a need for you to protect it. For example, people that are into drinks, snacks, you need to protect your logos, your symbols, your brand. You need to protect them. And it's not for now. Why you think will not make money now, my dear? It will make money. That is the essence of our idea. That is the essence of what I said in the beginning. That the idea, the dream is big, very, very big. We can start small. There's nothing that stops us from starting small. But at the same time, we should put faces and milestones for ourselves, that as we are growing, these and these and these and these are what we will achieve. So that is why registering your signage, your symbols, your design, your logo now is not only for now, it's for the future. Do you know the implication of anyone that use your logo, your symbols, or your writings without giving you, without your authorization, you can actually sue the person for passing off. And at the end of the day, the person will be liable to pay you damages beyond the tone of what you've suffered. Hey, and the beauty of it is that, see, if the person has made money from that, then you are entitled to all the recoveries of everything that the person has made. So it is better for you right now to register your intellectual property, your rights, it is better for you to. And it's also for us, all the IT people, guys, you cannot just be thinking and just be throwing it to the drain. Register your apps, register your ideas, you know, under patent. You need to register it, and another thing that I also want to talk about is there is a need for continuous orientation. See, that my parents run a business like this does not mean I should also run like this. Guys, things are changing. Life is not how it used to be. Business are not run, not even now. If you sit down in one place, your business will not come and meet you. So there is a need for you to put structures in place. It is very important for you to put structures in place, so that at the end of the day, when things started, when your business started going bigger, you won't find it difficult to balance this up. You know, if I want to recap everything that I've said earlier, the first thing that I mentioned is about having your business plan. And I mentioned the four things that you be sure of. You should understand the business you want to run, your market, who are your target audience, what are the things that you need to run the business, and what are the requisites uh, people, services that you intend to give to these people. Don't forget that when we are talking about this business, we are not talking about people that are just doing or buying and selling, all those kind of things. No, even to people that run a charitable organization, to churches, there's a need for structure to be in place. This with this there's this recent due to the new karma, and the churches were claiming the government is trying to take over the administration of the church or Islamize the country, different things. But in as much that I may have a bit of reservation as to regards that, but one of the things that I am able to bring out from the new companies and allied matters Act provisions are the fact that there's a need for structure. You cannot run a church as your family business. No, is a charitable organization, is a church that should be run under the administration of trustees. And these trustees, I can liken it to the directors as I explained earlier. They are people of quality, of integrity, of experience that are bringing something to the table, And for a church, it's for the public. So when governments are bringing things to provisions to regulate the affairs of NGOs, is basically to make sure that there is structure for perpetual succession, for sustainability. So what is the advantage of having a business structure? What is it? If you think the advantage of having a business structure is only make money now, hey guys, you are joking. Because having a business structure, the aim is for your company, for your business to live long, to run a sustainable, profitable business for a very long time and long years. For a very long time and long years. So there is a need for things to be in place, and if I can also recap to when I mentioned the issue of documentation, contractual agreements, a lot of times we embark on business transactions without having any contract at all with the other party. You are running a business and you don't have contract with the other party. And at the end of the day, you'll be running extra scatter looking for lawyer to help you to recoup your money or to help you to make sure that an obligation is done. A lot of times, especially during this pandemic, if you there was a particular case that about people that started their business and there was no contract between the contractor and the owner of the that gave the business, and the contractor felt that okay, it was pandemic, they couldn't do the project, and no, and the business owner stated that no, I've given you the money, and also the pandemic did not affect your business. It did not affect the project because the project can be done all online, but you were saying that because of the lockdown you were not able to. But the truth is that there was no agreement between them. There was no written agreement between them. Everything was just done online, but assuming there was an agreement between them, it will have been a different thing entirely. For the independent contractor, the first major clause, maybe if it's inside the agreement, will have saved him. And also for the owner of the project himself, he will also be able to level some form of damages if the said person that's supposed to do the agreement did not do it. So you see, most of the time we fail to do the needful, fail to put things in place because we limit ourselves. But as we are entering this new year, 2021, as I'm speaking to you, I'm also speaking to myself. We are saying that, okay, no, we are not going to limit ourselves. We are going to break boundaries. We are going to put things in place because my business shouldn't be all around me. Why are you doing a business? Is to meet the need of other people. Is to be a voice to be reckoned with also in your environment, in the country at large. So put things in place today. Write your business plan, make it plain. Your registration, if you want to do so, proprietorship, limited liability company, or an NGO, make sure you register your company today. And after, make sure everyone that is coming in, whether as a partner or as a founder or as a shareholder or as a director, there is a contract binding all of you together to understand individuals' responsibilities, liabilities, and obligations. So that at the end of the day, when the doors started coming in, nobody will feel left out. Nobody will feel like, okay, no, you are greedy or not. Let it be clear. Let it be clear. And at the end of the day, when you are staffing, please, you cannot be a cap fit all, like I will always say. You cannot be the one managing, soliciting for jobs, managing your staff, doing the human resources, drafting the agreement. Firstly, you are not a lawyer. Doing the administration part, no, you cannot be. That is why, for example, we as a firm, that's one of the things that we do to handle your human resources management of your staff, to do the orientation, advise you properly as your business advisor, as a legal advice, and also as business administrator. So we do all those things to take the burden off you, and so that you can also look at your business and run it properly. Yeah, there is a question, as we're about rounding up, there's a question that somebody asked, that how can you know the particular registration that you should do? Okay, how can you know the particular registration that you should do? Okay, so my answer is this. If you joined us from the beginning, I believe I've answered it, that before you even think of registering your company, you should have a business plan. When you know you have a business plan, you understand what exactly you want to do. So you understand the industry you want to operate in. See, you cannot be planning to run an aviation company and you go and do business name. No, because there is a share capital structure, there is what and what the different regulation that will be in place if you want to go to aviation. And if you want to run other businesses that we need a particular share capital structure like a bureau de change, or you cannot do a business name. So the industry you want to operate on, we also determine the particular type of business registration that you should do. Yes. And please, you cannot decide to have a church and you will go and do sole proprietorship. No, it's a two different thing on its own. So that is why one the thing that you do before registering your business is to understand what exactly you want to do, what exactly you intend to do, and another thing that also I believe I've answered that person's question. Another question also sent to our email is about how do you manage your employees that's trying to sabotage you. See, there are some things you will not experience at all if you put things in place. The headache of employees, we will not even have it if we also put things in place. First thing, employing the right people. So you don't employ people into your business. See, out of sentiment, you employ people out of experience and expertise and good conduct. So it is a place of an human resources manager to understand the right personnel for the particular job or vacancy. So if you have a vacant position, you include an HR manager to engage that particular person. And if you are also knowledgeable in that, you can also do it. Please, but after that, there is a need for different documentation that should be in place. Number one, contract of employment. The contract of employment will indicate clearly the job description of the person, the do and don't, and also the code of conduct of the company, the policies. Whistleblower policy is also should be there. What should be done and what will lead to a query or termination or suspension or even criminal action. Everything should be clearly indicated in the code of conduct. So when you have all those things in place and you have an employee that is trying to sabotage your company, then you will be able to exercise right action against that particular person. Do you know that there are some actions beyond even terminating an employment? You can also sue for damages for an employee that has acted irrationally against the company in the course of his or her employment. So if all those things are in place, you won't have that particular headache of an employee is trying to sabotage you. You won't have it at all. You won't have it at all. Yeah, thank you. I'm actually reading all your comments. Thank you so much for joining. Please don't hesitate to share this with your friends and colleagues. We are still talking about business structure, and I believe if you are joining us now, you can still go for the replay and share it with your friends. And so that's we are answering questions right now. And another thing that I also want us to understand is that, see, all these things I've explained is not too big to comprehend, because I try as much as possible to put it in the words that you will understand, even if you are not a legal person, because see, if we are going to take our business to another level in 2021, all these things, there's none that is not important. Everything should be in place. What will differentiate you from a person that is selling pepper in the market and is eating from hand to mouth is business structure. What will differentiate you from a person that be running the same business for the past 10 years and the person is not growing is business structure. What will help you to make sure that the same your clientele is increasing and they are not reducing. Is business structure. You know, when you put things in place, it is so easy for you to have to increase your clientele. It is so easy for you, for investors to also see that your company is growing. For example, if you have a good corporate account and you are running your accounts effectively, in a situation whereby you need to get a loan, there's a project coming up from the government, it won't be far-fetched for you to do the right thing, and you'll be selected and write for the loan or any form of opportunity that will come. So there is a need for us to put things in place. I hope you've learned something today. I hope you've achieved a lot. This is the law and high, and our aim is for business owners, for people, for our environment, for us as individual persons to understand everything that affects us, so that at the end of the day we have the knowledge, the requisite knowledge to take our business forward, to move our environment forward, to even know the policies that affect us individually and business wise. We have a YouTube channel. Please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Law and High. Follow us on this Facebook page at The Law and High. And my closing remark is this: everyone wants to build an empire and have a sustainable business that will outlive them and impact the world at large. But the truth is, there must be proper structures in place from the beginning of the business. That is the truth. Everybody wants to be the Dangote of our time, or the $10 of our time. But the truth is, there's a need for structure to be in place. Thank you so much for joining me on this webinar. It's a great time, and I hope you join us again. This webinar will be coming up every last Wednesdays of the month. So the last Wednesday in January is another time like this to have an explosive time together. But proud that our YouTube channel, you can watch our videos and learn a lot of things in every area beyond your business, even as to family, as to contractual obligations, as to will. Don't hesitate to join and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time, and bye.